Jaya looked out the large window at the stars. New Seoul Space Station hung in orbit around Earth like a shining ring. At 19 years old, she was small for her age. Her thin arms and slight frame made people think she was weak. "Final boarding call for military academy applicants," said a voice over the station speakers. Jaya picked up her small bag and walked to the transport gate. Around her, other young people stood tall and strong. Boys with broad shoulders, girls with athletic builds. All of them looked like fighters. No one looked at Jaya. When they did, they looked away quickly. She was used to this. In a world at war with the Orcs Empire, strength meant survival. "ID, please," said the officer at the gate. Jaya handed over her card. The officer looked at it, then at her, then back at the card with surprise. "Perfect test scores." "All of them?" he asked. Jaya nodded. This happened every time. No one believed someone like her could be smart enough to make up for her small size. "Good luck," the officer said, but his tone suggested she would need more than luck. The transport ship was crowded with future cadets. Jia found a seat in the back corner. As the ship pulled away from the station, she watched people laugh and talk. No one sat near her. "Can you believe they're letting anyone in these days?" said a loud voice. Jaya didn't need to look up to know who was talking about her. Taiwan, son of a famous general, stood with his friends a few seats away. He was tall, with strong arms and a confident smile. "The Archer will eat her alive," laughed one of his friends. "She won't last a week." Jaya closed her eyes. In her mind, she could see every person on the ship. She knew where they sat, how they moved, even how they would likely react if the ship suddenly turned. This special awareness had always been with her. She could see patterns others missed. The ship docked at the Academy station 3 hours later. The new cadets lined up in the main hall. Old battle flags hung from the high ceiling. The walls showed famous battles where humans had fought against the technologically superior Orcs. Commander Hyun walked slowly in front of the line. He was old for a military man, with gray hair and a scar across his face. His eyes stopped when he reached Jia. "Name?" he asked. "Jia, sir." He looked at his datapad. "The test score girl. Interesting." The first day was physical training. Jia struggled to keep up. The running track wrapped around the entire station ring. By the end, she was last, breathing hard. "Pathetic," said Taiwan as he passed her. After dinner, they went to the simulation room. Each cadet sat in a pod that looked like a small ship cockpit. "Today's test is simple," said Commander Hyun. "Survive." The simulation began. Jia found herself in virtual space, controlling a small fighter ship. Enemy ships appeared from all directions. Most cadets fought head-on, showing off their quick reflexes. Jia did something different. She watched the patterns of the enemy ships. She noticed they moved in specific ways. After studying them for a few moments, she began to fly between them, never firing, just moving in spaces where the enemy ships were not. When the simulation ended, Jia had the highest survival time. She had not destroyed a single enemy ship, but none had hit her either. "How did you do that?" asked a cadet named Sujin. Before Jia could answer, Taiwan pushed between them. "Luck," he said, or the simulation was broken. Commander Hyun watched from across the room. He said nothing, but his eyes followed Jia as she walked away. That night, in her small room, Jia looked again at the stars. The Orcs were out there, advancing every day. Everyone said humans needed strength to win. Jia knew better. Humans needed something else, something she had. The war would show who was truly weak and who was hiding their strength. 2 weeks passed at the academy. Every morning, Jia woke before the others to train alone. Her body hurt, but she kept going. She knew she had to get stronger. In the combat gym, she struggled to lift even the lightest weights. Taiwan and his friends often watched and laughed. "She won't last the month," Taiwan said loudly. Jaya ignored them. After physical training came classes on battle strategy and space combat. Here, Jaya shined. When teachers asked questions about enemy patterns or defense positions, her hand was always first in the air. The Orcs ships always turn right after firing their main weapons. Jaya explained during one class. This creates a 3-second window on their left side. The teacher, Captain Min, looked surprised. That's correct. How did you notice that? Jaya shrugged. I watch carefully. After class, Sujin caught up with Jaya in the hallway. Unlike most cadets, Sujin was friendly to her. No one else saw that pattern. Sujin said, "You're really good at this." "Thanks," Jaya said with a small smile. It felt good to have someone notice her skills. That afternoon, all cadets reported to the large simulation room. This time, they would work in teams of 4. Jaya was placed with Sujin, Ta-won, and a quiet boy named Da-hyun. "Great," muttered Ta-won. "We got the weak girl." Commander Hyun stood at the front of the room. "Today's exercise is different. Your team must protect a medical ship for 30 minutes against enemy attacks. This is not about how many enemies you destroy. It's about keeping your target safe." The teams entered their simulation pods. Jia felt the familiar hum as the virtual world appeared around her. She saw her small fighter ship and 3 others nearby. In the center was a large white medical ship, moving slowly. "I'll take the front," Ta-won said over the comm. "Sujin and Da-hyun cover the sides. Jia, just try not to crash into us." Jaya didn't argue. Instead, she moved her ship above the others and watched. As enemy ships appeared, she noticed something strange. "The simulation is wrong," she said suddenly. "What are you talking about?" Ta-won asked. "The enemies are not following normal patterns. They're moving too fast. The system is malfunctioning." As she spoke, more enemy ships appeared than should be possible. Red warning lights flashed in all their pods. "System error," came Commander Hyun's voice. "All cadets exit simulation immediately." But nothing happened. They were trapped in the simulation. "We're going to die in here," Da-hyun said, panic in his voice. "No, we're not," Jaya said calmly. "Follow my instructions exactly." To everyone's surprise, Ta-won said, "We don't have a choice." "What's your plan?" "Form a triangle around the medical ship," Jaya said. "But don't stay still. Move in a spiral pattern, each ship 5 seconds behind the others." "That's not standard procedure," Sujin said. "The standard won't work here," Jaya replied. "Trust me." They followed her plan. The enemy ships, programmed to attack standard formations, became confused by the spiral movement. When they fired, their shots hit empty space where a defender had been 5 seconds before. For 20 tense minutes, they kept the medical ship safe. Finally, Commander Hyun and the tech team managed to shut down the simulation. When they exited the pods, everyone was staring at Jaya's team. "How did you survive that?" asked one cadet. "The system was set to impossible mode." Ta-won looked at Jaya with new eyes. He didn't speak, but he gave her a small nod. Later that evening, Jaya received a message on her datapad. "Report to Special Training Room 7 at 2100 hours. Commander Hyun." Jaya felt a mix of worry and excitement. What did the commander want? Had she done something wrong? Or had someone finally seen what she could really do? As she walked to the meeting, she realized this might be her chance to show her true strength, the kind that had nothing to do with muscles. Jia stood outside Special Training Room 7, took a deep breath, and pressed her hand on the scanner. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, Commander Hyun waited. Behind him stood a tall machine that looked like a mix between a pilot's seat and a medical device. "You're on time." "Good," said Commander Hyun. "What I'm about to show you is secret. Do you understand?" Jaya nodded. "Yes, sir." "The Orcs are winning this war," he said flatly. "Their ships are faster. Their weapons are stronger. But we might have found an advantage. He walked to the machine and placed his hand on it. This is the neural interface. It lets pilots control battle mechs with their minds, not their bodies. Jaya moved closer, curious. So physical strength doesn't matter. Exactly, said Commander Hyun with a small smile. What matters is mental strength, spatial awareness, and quick thinking. All things you have shown in abundance. Jaya felt a spark of hope. Finally, someone saw her true value. Why show me? She asked. Most pilots can't handle the mental strain. Their brains can't process the information fast enough. But your test scores and simulation results suggest you might be different. Commander Hyun gestured to the seat. Would you like to try? Jaya didn't hesitate. She sat down and let the commander place a thin metal band around her head. It felt cool against her skin. Close your eyes, he instructed. Imagine you are flying. Not in a ship, but as yourself. Jaya closed her eyes. At first, she felt nothing. Then suddenly, her mind expanded. She could feel something huge around her. A metal body, strong and powerful. Open your eyes, said Commander Hyun. Jaya looked at the large screen in front of her. It showed a virtual battle mech standing in an empty practice area. When she thought about raising her arm, the mech raised its arm too. This is amazing, she whispered. Now try to move, said Commander Hyun. Jaya thought about walking, and the mech took heavy steps forward. But it felt wrong. Too stiff, too mechanical. Don't think about moving a machine, said Commander Hyun. Think about dancing. Jaya remembered the traditional dances her grandmother had taught her when she was young. Graceful movements, flowing like water. She thought about those movements now. On the screen, the battle mech began to move differently. No longer stiff and robotic, it moved with surprising grace. It turned in perfect circles, its balance perfect. Commander Hyun watched with wide eyes. Incredible. Most pilots take weeks to achieve that level of control. For the next hour, Jaya practiced with the neural interface. She learned to make the mech run, jump, and even perform combat moves. It felt natural, like the mech was part of her. You're a natural, said Commander Hyun. With training, you could become the best pilot we've ever had. When can I start? Jaya asked eagerly. Tomorrow night, same time. We'll train in secret for now. The old military leaders don't fully support this program yet. As Jaya left the training room, her heart felt lighter than it had in years. Finally, she had found her place. She was so lost in thought that she didn't notice Taiwan standing in the shadows of the hallway. He watched her walk away, his eyes narrow with suspicion. The next day in combat class, Taiwan kept looking at Jaya strangely. Where were you last night? He asked during a break. I went to study hall to ask about the assignment, but you weren't there. I was in my room, Jaya lied. Taiwan frowned. No, you weren't. I checked. Jaya felt a chill. You were looking for me in my room. That's against rules. Taiwan stepped closer. What's Commander Hyun teaching you in private? Are you getting special treatment? Before Jaya could answer, the class bell rang. She hurried away, but she could feel Taiwan's eyes on her back. Her secret training had just become more complicated. For 2 weeks, Jaya trained with the neural interface every night. She learned to make the battle mech move faster and more smoothly than anyone before her. Commander Hyun said she was a natural. Your brain connects with the machine in a special way, he explained. You don't fight against it like most pilots. You work with it. Jaya loved the feeling of being strong and powerful in the mech. In real life, she was still the small, weak girl everyone looked down on. But in the neural interface, she was unstoppable. One morning, as all cadets ate breakfast in the main hall, a loud alarm sounded. This is not a drill, said a voice over the speakers. Orcs ships have been spotted near the station. All senior pilots report to launch bay. All cadets remain in safe areas. People jumped up and ran. Some looked scared, others excited. This was their first real attack. Jaya felt Commander Hyun's hand on her shoulder. "Come with me," he said quietly. "But cadets are supposed to stay here," she said. "Most of our senior pilots are away on a mission. We need every pilot we can get, even new ones." Jaya followed him to a secure area deep in the station. Inside a large room, 5 battle mechs stood ready. They were bigger than the one she had trained with, and painted black with no markings. "These are prototype neural interface mechs," said Commander Hyun. "Only 5 pilots in the whole fleet can use them." A technician helped Jaya into a special suit that would connect her to the mech. As she climbed into the cockpit, she saw other pilots doing the same. To her surprise, one of them was Ta-1. "You?" he said when he saw her. "What are you doing here?" Before she could answer, Commander Hyun spoke to all of them. "Listen carefully. Orcs ships have broken through our outer defenses. Your job is to protect the escape shuttles. Do not engage the enemy directly unless absolutely necessary." Jaya felt the neural interface activate as the cockpit closed. Her mind expanded, and suddenly she was the mech. She could feel its power and strength as if it were her own body. The launch bay doors opened, showing the blackness of space. One by one, the mechs flew out. Outside, chaos waited. Orcs ships fired at the station. Escape shuttles tried to get away. Debris floated everywhere. "Stay in formation," ordered the lead pilot over the comm. Jaya followed orders and stayed with the group. But she could see the Orcs ships were targeting the escape shuttles. Standard defense tactics weren't working. "We need to change our approach," Jaya said over the comm. "Stick to the plan, cadet," the lead pilot snapped back. Jaya watched as an Orcs ship broke through their defense line. It headed straight for a shuttle full of people. Without thinking, Jaya broke formation. She flew her mech behind a large piece of station debris, then pushed off it to launch herself at high speed toward the Orcs ship. "What are you doing?" yelled Ta-1. "Get back in formation." Jaya didn't answer. She moved her mech in an unpredictable pattern the Orcs couldn't track. When she got close, she grabbed more floating debris and threw it at the enemy ship's engines. The Orcs ship spun out of control, missing the escape shuttle. Jia quickly moved to another piece of debris, using it as cover. From her hiding spot, she saw 3 more Orcs ships approaching. They were following standard attack patterns, exactly like in the simulations. Jia knew what to do. "Ta-1, Su-jin, on my mark. Target the lead ship's left side," she called. "We should stick to protocol," Ta-1 argued. An explosion rocked his mech as an Orcs blast hit him. His mech spun away, damage. "New protocol," Jaya said firmly. "Follow me or die." To her surprise, the remaining pilots followed her lead. They used the debris field as both cover and weapons. They moved in unpredictable patterns that confused the Orcs targeting systems. When the battle ended, all the escape shuttles had gotten away safely. Jaya's squad had destroyed 3 enemy ships without losing a single mech, though Ta-1's was badly damaged. As they returned to the station, Jaya could feel everything changing. She wasn't the weak girl anymore. She was a fighter. The day after the battle, everyone at the academy looked at Jaya differently. Word had spread about how she had led her squad against the Orcs ships. Some cadets looked at her with respect, others with doubt. Jaya sat alone at breakfast until Su-jin joined her. "You saved a lot of lives yesterday," Su-jin said. "That was amazing flying." "Thanks," Jaya replied. "How is Ta-1?" "In the medical bay. His injuries aren't too bad, but his pride is hurt worse." As they talked, a message appeared on Jaya's datapad. "Report to command center at 900 hours. The command center was on the top level of the station. Jia had never been there before. When she arrived, a group of high-ranking officers sat around a large table. Commander Hyun stood to the side. "Cadet Jaya," said a stern-looking woman with admiral stripes. "I am Admiral Yoon. Please sit." Jaya sat nervously. Admiral Yoon was the highest-ranking officer on the station. Everyone knew she was tough but fair. "We've reviewed the battle recordings," Admiral Yoon said. "Your tactics were unusual." An older man with a thick mustache interrupted. "They were reckless and dangerous. Breaking formation, using debris as weapons. This isn't how we train our pilots." "General Park," Admiral Yoon said calmly. "The results speak for themselves. All escape shuttles safe. 3 enemy ships destroyed. No mechs lost." "Pure luck," General Park insisted. "And she endangered other pilots." Jaya spoke up. "The standard tactics weren't working, sir. The Orcs have studied our patterns. They know what we're going to do before we do it." The room grew quiet. Jia realized she should not have spoken without being asked. "Continue," Admiral Yoon said with interest. "The Orcs expect us to be predictable," Jaya explained. "They don't expect us to use the environment. They don't expect us to move like dancers instead of soldiers." General Park stood up. "This is nonsense. Combat isn't a dance. It's about power, strength, and following proven strategies." "Strategies that are failing," Commander Hyun said quietly. After the meeting, Commander Hyun walked with Jaya back to the training areas. "You made some powerful enemies today," he said, "but also some powerful friends." Admiral Yoon was impressed. "What happens now?" Jaya asked. "Now, the real fight begins, not just against the Orcs, but against old thinking." In the days that followed, Jaya faced new challenges. Several veteran pilots refused to train with her, calling her methods undisciplined and lucky. During group exercises, they ignored her suggestions, but others were more open. Soo Jin spent hours in the engineering bay, modifying mechs to be more responsive to Jaya's style of movement. Da Hyun, a quiet pilot who had watched the battle from a distance, asked Jaya to teach him her techniques. One evening, as Jaya practiced alone in the simulation room, she heard the door open. Taiwan walked in, his arm in a medical brace. "You broke every rule in the book," he said. Jaya waited for him to yell at her. Instead, he sat down next to her. "And you saved my life," he added. "The doctor said if that Orcs ship had hit me directly, I wouldn't be here." "I'm glad you're okay," Jaya said carefully. Taiwan looked at her with new respect. "My father is General Park." Jaya's eyes widened. Now his attitude made sense. "He taught me that strength and discipline win wars," Taiwan continued. "All my life, I believed him. But yesterday, I saw something different." He stood up. "I'm not saying I agree with all your methods, but I think I have things to learn from you." Jaya couldn't hide her surprise. "You want me to teach you?" "Don't get too excited," Taiwan said with a small smile. "I still think you're weird, but weird might be what we need right now." As he left, Jaya felt a strange new feeling. For the first time in her life, people were seeing her strength, not her weakness. The question was, would it be enough to change years of military tradition before the Orcs attacked again? 1 week after the battle, Jaya received an official message. "Report to Hangar Bay 12 at 800 hours. Admiral Yoon." Hangar Bay 12 was in a restricted area of the station. When Jaya arrived, she found Admiral Yoon waiting with Commander Hyun and 3 other people, Soo Jin, Da Hyun, and to her surprise, Taiwan. "Welcome, Jia," said Admiral Yoon. "I've made a decision that many people think is a mistake. I hope you'll prove them wrong." She pressed a button on her datapad. A large door slid open, revealing 5 new battle mechs. They were sleeker than the older models, painted dark gray with a blue stripe. "These are the newest neural interface mechs," Admiral Yoon explained. "And you 5 are now officially Shadow Squad." Jaya looked at the Admiral in shock. "A squad? But I'm just a cadet." "Not anymore. As of today, you are all promoted to pilot rank." Admiral Yoon handed each of them new insignia patches. "And Jaya, You will lead this squad. Taiwan's eyebrows shot up. Jia waited for him to object, but he stayed silent. Why us? Asked Dahyun quietly. Commander Hyun stepped forward. Each of you brings something special. Jia has natural talent with the neural interface and sees patterns others miss. Soo-jin understands the technology better than anyone. Dahyun has the fastest reaction time in the academy. And Ta-won. And I know all the standard combat procedures that Jia likes to break. Ta-won finished with a small smile. Admiral Yoon nodded. Your job is to develop new ways of fighting. The old methods aren't working against the Orcs. We need to change. After the Admiral left, the new squad members looked at each other awkwardly. So, what now, leader? Ta-won asked Jia. His tone wasn't mean, but it wasn't fully respectful either. Jia took a deep breath. Now we train, but not like before. Over the next few days, Jia created a new training program. Instead of practicing the same movements over and over, she had the squad adapt to random challenges. She set up obstacle courses in the simulation room. She turned off visual sensors, so they had to rely on other ways of knowing where things were. This is crazy, Ta-won complained on the third day. How does dancing around debris help us fight? Show me, Jia said, pointing to the simulation pods. Inside the virtual world, Jaya's mech and Ta-won's faced each other. Try to hit me, she challenged him. Ta-won's mech charged forward with perfect form. Jaya's mech simply wasn't there when his fist arrived. She moved like water, flowing around his attacks. Stop dodging and fight back. Ta-won shouted. Why waste energy attacking when I can just wait for you to get tired? Jia replied calmly. After 10 minutes, Ta-won's movements grew slower. Jia hadn't thrown a single punch, but he couldn't touch her. Finally, she moved in close and gently tapped his mech's head. That would be a kill shot, she said. When they exited the simulation, Ta-won was sweating. Fine. You made your point. Soo-jin was excited. I've been working on modifications to make the mechs move more like Jia wants. Less power, more speed and flexibility. Dahyun, who rarely spoke, added, I've been studying how animals move. Birds, fish, insects, they don't move in straight lines when they're attacked. Maybe we shouldn't either. Jia smiled. Her squad was starting to understand. That night, Commander Hyun showed her the latest reports from the front lines. The Orcs were advancing faster than before. Their technology was improving. We don't have much time, he said seriously. The Shadow Squad needs to be ready soon. How soon? Jia asked. Intelligence suggests a major attack is coming. Weeks, maybe days. Jia felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Her team was learning, but they weren't ready for a real battle. Not yet. We'll be ready, she promised, hoping it wasn't a lie. The warning came 3 days later. A massive Orcs fleet was heading toward Earth. This was not a small attack like before. This was a full invasion. All pilots were called to the main briefing room. The room was packed with hundreds of men and women in uniform. On a large screen, Admiral Yoon showed the enemy fleet's position. This is the largest Orcs force we have ever seen, she said. Their main ships will reach Earth in less than 12 hours. Our standard fleet will engage them here. She pointed to a spot near Mars. General Park stepped forward. All squads will follow standard attack pattern Delta. We will hit them with everything we have. Jia raised her hand. Sir, the Orcs know our standard patterns. They'll be ready for Delta. The room grew quiet. General Park's face turned red with anger. You are out of line, pilot, he snapped. Admiral Yoon held up her hand. Let her speak. Jia stood up, feeling all eyes on her. Our intelligence shows the Orcs have new technology that can predict our movements. They've studied our tactics for years. If we use standard patterns, we'll lose. What do you suggest? Admiral Yoon asked. Let my squad take a different approach. While the main fleet attacks head-on, we can slip behind enemy lines and target their command ships. General Park laughed. 5 mechs against a command ship? Impossible. Not if we use their size against them, Jaya explained. Big ships can't track small, fast-moving targets that don't follow expected patterns. The room erupted in argument. Some pilots supported Jaya's idea. Others sided with General Park. Admiral Yoon listened to both sides, then made her decision. The main fleet will proceed with pattern Delta, she said. Shadow Squad will attempt Jaya's plan. If it works, it could save many lives. As they prepared for battle, Taiwan approached Jaya in the hangar bay. My father thinks you're leading us to our deaths, he said. Jaya checked her mech systems. What do you think? Taiwan was quiet for a moment. I think standard tactics aren't working. We need to try something new. Su Jin and Da Hyun joined them. Su Jin had added special stealth plating to their mechs. Da Hyun had practiced Jaya's movement techniques until he could almost match her speed. Are we ready for this? Da Hyun asked, his voice shaking slightly. Jaya looked at her squad. They had trained hard, but were they ready for the biggest battle in human history? We have to be, she said simply. The launch bay doors opened to reveal the vastness of space. The Shadow Squad flew out, their mechs moving in a loose formation that would confuse enemy sensors. In the distance, flashes of light showed where the main battle had started. The human fleet fired everything they had at the approaching Orcs ships, but the enemy seemed to know exactly what was coming. They easily avoided most attacks. It's just like Jaya said. Su Jin's voice came over the comm. They know our moves before we make them. Jaya led her squad in a wide arc around the main battle. They used debris and disabled ships as cover, moving from shadow to shadow. The Orcs sensors didn't detect them. When they reached the back of the enemy fleet, they saw the massive command ships. Each one was the size of a small moon, bristling with weapons. There's no way we can destroy those, Taiwan said. We don't need to destroy them, Jaya replied. We just need to disable their control systems. Look there. She pointed to a small section on the nearest command ship. It was less protected than the rest. That's their communication array, she explained. If we take that out, they can't coordinate their fleet. How do you know that? Da Hyun asked. I studied their ship designs. The Orcs always put communication systems in the same place. The squad moved closer, using their small size to hide in the shadows of the giant ship. When they were in position, Jaya gave the signal. Now, she called. The 5 mechs burst from hiding and flew straight at the communication array. The Orcs defenses, designed to stop large ships, couldn't track the small, fast-moving mechs that moved in unpredictable patterns. The Shadow Squad reached their target and planted explosive charges. As they flew away, the charges detonated. The communication array exploded in a shower of metal and light. Suddenly, the Orcs ships began to move erratically. Without central control, they couldn't coordinate their attacks. It worked. Su Jin shouted. The human fleet is breaking through. As they watched, the tide of battle turned. The human forces, following Admiral Yoon's new orders, broke from standard patterns and began attacking the confused Orcs ships from all sides. The Shadow Squad had changed the course of the war. The Shadow Squad returned to the station as heroes. Pilots and cadets lined the halls, cheering as Jia and her team walked by. Their successful attack had changed the course of the battle, giving humans their first major victory against the Orcs in years. Admiral Yoon called a special ceremony in the main hall. All personnel on the station attended, standing at attention as the Shadow Squad entered. Today marks a new chapter in our war against the Orcs, Admiral Yoon announced. These 5 pilots have shown us that strength alone is not enough. We need new thinking, new tactics. She turned to Jia. For exceptional service and revolutionary combat technique, I am naming you Battle Master of the Terran Fleet. A whisper went through the crowd. The title of Battle Master was ancient, not used for generations. Traditionally, it was given only to the strongest, most powerful warriors. A battle master must be strong. Someone shouted from the crowd. Jia recognized General Park's voice. Admiral Yun's face hardened. Strength takes many forms, General. Jia has shown a kind of strength we need more than muscle. After the ceremony, pilots from across the fleet sought out Jia. Even those who had mocked her before now wanted to learn her methods. "Can you teach us the shadow dance?" asked a veteran pilot, using the name people had given to Jia's fighting style. "It's not something you learn quickly," Jia explained. "It's about seeing patterns, using your environment, moving unpredictably." Still, she agreed to start training sessions. Each day, more pilots joined. They practiced in the simulation rooms, learning to move differently, to think differently. Even Tawan became one of her strongest supporters. "My father still doesn't understand," he told Jia as they walked to the training room one day. "But he will, eventually." 1 month after the battle, a new threat emerged. The Orcs fleet had regrouped. They had adapted their ships and tactics. Now they were led by their most feared commander, Admiral Vex. "He's never lost a battle," Commander Hyun told Jia as they studied reports. "He's brutal, smart, and adaptable." Admiral Yun called Jia to a private meeting. "Intelligence suggests Vex is targeting you personally. He sees you as the reason for their defeat." "Me?" Jia asked in surprise. "I'm just one pilot." "You're more than that now," Admiral Yun said. "You're a symbol of hope for our people, and a symbol of fear for the Orcs." The next day, the alarms sounded again, but this time, it wasn't a surprise attack. The Orcs had sent a direct challenge. Admiral Vex himself would face Battle Master Jia in single combat. If Jia won, the Orcs would retreat from Earth space. If Vex won, the humans would surrender. "It's a trap," Tawan insisted when he heard. "You can't trust the Orcs." "Actually, they do honor combat challenges," Commander Hyun said. "It's part of their culture." Jia thought carefully. "What kind of ship does Vex pilot?" "A new type we haven't seen before," Su Jin said, showing images on her datapad. "It's bigger than our mechs, but smaller than a standard ship, very fast, heavily armed." "He'll expect me to fight like we did in the big battle," Jia said. "But I won't. I'll give him something new." For 3 days, Jia trained alone. She reviewed everything known about Orcs psychology and Admiral Vex's battle history. She studied his past fights, looking for patterns only she could see. The day of the challenge arrived. Jia sat in her mech as the launch bay doors opened. She felt calm, focused. This wasn't just about her anymore. This was about all humans. As she flew into space, she saw Vex's ship waiting. It was sleek and deadly, painted blood red. Behind it, the Orcs fleet waited. Behind Jia, the human fleet watched. "Battle Master Jia," came a harsh voice over the comm. "I am Admiral Vex. Today, I will show the humans that your new tactics are no match for Orcs power." Jia took a deep breath and moved her mech forward. "We'll see about that," she said quietly. The final battle was about to begin. The space between the two fleets was empty except for 2 figures, Jia in her gray and blue mech, and Admiral Vex in his blood-red ship. Millions watched from Earth and the stations. This battle would decide the war. Vex moved first, his ship charging at incredible speed. It was faster than any Orcs vessel Jia had seen before. He fired a series of quick blasts that would have destroyed a normal pilot. But Jia wasn't normal. Her mech spun and twisted, avoiding every shot. She didn't counterattack. Instead, she studied Vex's movements, looking for patterns. "Fight back, human," Vex demanded over the comm. Jia remained silent. She continued to dodge, moving her mech in seemingly random ways. But there was a plan in her mind. After 5 minutes, Vex's attacks became more aggressive. He was getting frustrated. His shots came faster but were less precise. "I see your pattern now," Jaya said quietly to herself. The Archer Admiral had a rhythm to his attacks. 3 quick shots, then a power move, then a brief pause as his weapons recharge. During that pause, he always moved to his right. The next time Vex fired his 3 shots, Jaya was ready. She dodged the first 2, let the third one graze her mech's shoulder, and then charged forward instead of retreating. Surprised, Vex made his power move too late. Jaya's mech slipped past his defenses and landed a direct hit on his ship's main weapon. "Impossible," Vex shouted. Jaya didn't stop. She kept moving, kept attacking in unexpected ways. She used debris from previous battles as cover. She changed direction in ways that defied normal movement patterns. For 15 minutes, the battle continued. Jaya's mech took damage, but Vex's ship was falling apart. Finally, she saw her chance. As Vex prepared for his strongest attack, Jaya flew directly at him instead of away. Her mech crashed into his ship at the exact point where his main power system was located. Both fighters spun away from the impact. Jaya's mech recovered first. She pointed her weapons at Vex's damaged ship. "It's over, Admiral," she said over the comm. "Do you surrender?" There was a long silence. Then Vex's rough voice replied, "How? How did a small human defeat me?" "Because you think strength is everything," Jaya explained. "You didn't realize that adaptability is more powerful." After a moment, Vex spoke to both fleets. "The human battle master has won. As promised, we will retreat." The human fleet erupted in cheers. The Archer ships slowly turned and moved away from Earth. When Jaya returned to the station, Admiral Yoon was waiting. "You've done the impossible," she said. "You've given us more than a victory. You've given us a future." In the months that followed, Jaya established a new combat academy. Its name, in large letters above the entrance, was the Human Advantage. Here, pilots learned that physical strength was just one type of power. Combat isn't about being the strongest, Jaya told her students. It's about using what you have in ways your enemy doesn't expect. The neural interface technology was improved to work with different thinking styles. Each pilot developed their own version of the shadow dance, based on their unique minds. One day, as Jaya watched new students practice, Taiwan joined her. He was now one of her top instructors. "My father visited yesterday," he said. "General Park. What did he want?" Jaya asked. Taiwan smiled. "To apologize. He finally understands what you've been saying all along. Strength comes in many forms." As peace talks with the Archer continued, Jaya remembered her first days at the academy. How everyone had seen only her small size, her physical weakness, how they had missed the strength of her mind, her unique way of seeing the world. "What are you thinking about?" Sujin asked, joining them. Jaya smiled. "About how sometimes the strongest fighters are hidden in plain sight." She looked out at her students, some large and muscular, others small like her, all of them learning that true strength came from within. The weak girl had become a battle master, and in doing so, had taught humanity its greatest lesson. Never judge someone's strength by how they look.